Testing. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Brews, Chews, and News. Do we have anyone in the audience today who's here for the first time? Well, what time is it? It's show time at coffee time. It's that time of the day. We read some stories, sing some oldies, drive your cares away. It's show time at coffee time. We lift you up for a while, but we can't do it. You gotta hop to it. Put on a great big smile. We'll have photographs and belly laughs. Try some games to play. And sometimes we get serious, but we don't stay long that way. So grab a donut and fill your cup and start to loosen up. Put a smiling place on a happy face as we go on with the show. And now Wade is coming up to give us a little update.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I don't have a lot today, but I thought I'd share a funny story with you. Well, let me go see how funny it is. Let me go through the bullet points that I have. As you guys probably know, the pool's closed right now. Sarah was probably going to talk about that too, but apparently, well, she sent me an email this morning saying that the pool motor died this morning, or over the weekend, and I gave my condolences to it. But it will be replaced sometime today or tomorrow, so we should be back up and running. Got a master plan lunch, as I've been talking about this week, to go over that with the committee. I have invited the new CFO to our town hall next week, so I'm going to introduce her to all of you at town hall. And capital projects list, I got another list from Jerry. It's getting longer and longer, isn't it, Jerry? So it looks good. I know the bistro's closed this week. We've got a lot of special events and a few other things going on in the bistro. We are having our capital list there, but the funny story I wanted to share with you is my friend Joe Gurney. He comes into my office pretty much every morning just to say hi to me and talk to me, and obviously we talk about the Blue Angels a little bit too. So but he comes in every morning, and it reminded me when I was at Bethesda Orchard in Webster Groves. That's a retirement community there. And I had a resident used to come and visit me. His name was Jim, and he'd come in every morning just to say hi. Well, I'd mess with him all the time, and this is how much fun I have at this job and being around all of you all. But he'd start coming down the hall, and I'd see him through the glass, and I'd get out of my chair, and I hid under my desk a couple times. And he came into my office, and he said, "I know you're back there, so you might as well just get back in your chair and listen to me talk." So anyways, we had a good time, and so I thought I'd share that. But does anyone have any questions for me? Perfect. Golly. Nope. Pete, are you sure? Thanks, Pete. All right, thank you all.
Wow, not even Pete today. All right, now Sarah's here to tell us what's going on around the village this week.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to give a quick thank you to Valerie and all the work she put in this weekend for the Super Bowl. So I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you, Valerie. As Wade mentioned, we are getting the pool motor repaired. It should hopefully be fixed this afternoon, but tomorrow probably at the latest. So that was kind of an unexpected thing this weekend. So we apologize for the inconvenience. Just a few reminders for this week. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, the safety and security meeting will take place in the Trillium Loft conference room. And then a reminder that the blood pressure clinics are on Mondays now from 1 to 3 in the clinic. So Mary can take your blood pressure if you'd like to stop by. Drama will practice as usual at 2 o'clock. And then just a reminder, if you haven't turned in your wedding photo but would like it in the slideshow this weekend that will run on $24.93, please turn those in by today. For Jonathan, we're making good progress, and we've got a lot of great photos. We probably have over 50 photos, actually. So we'll show that at 1, 4, and 7 o'clock on Saturday, February 14th. So thank you, everyone, for submitting those. Tomorrow, I wanted to remind you that we have a Valentine's pop-up shop from 9:30 to 11 a.m. in the Fireside Lounge. So I know Julie has put a lot of work into this, and some of the ladies in the Creative Arts Studio. They've got some really neat soaps that they made. We'll also have some real flowers you can purchase individually or in a bouquet. We'll have lots of different candy and cards, and it's also hosted alongside with the Fort Zumwalt East students that will be helping us with that tomorrow. So you can pay by cash, statement, or check if you'd like to stop by. So we hope to see you tomorrow. And then just a reminder, on Tuesday, we also have the Chimers rehearsal at 11 a.m. in the theater. And the Facilities Committee meeting will be meeting at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And then if you'd like to join us in the theater, tomorrow, 2 p.m., the Safety and Security meeting will take place. And they'll be doing some discussion over transportation and just other general safety reminders for you. In addition, tomorrow's a busy day. 2 o'clock, we'll have a session called Exercise Fact or Fiction by Dr. Earhart. This was coordinated with Michelle, I believe. I don't know if she's still in here. They'll be talking about testing your knowledge of exercise and physical activity, addressing common misconceptions, and give you pointers about how to build more regular exercise into your daily routine. So again, that's 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we have our regular bocce at 12:45 and the bookmobile at 1:30. On Thursday, I'm excited that Julie's offering a Mardi Gras mask making workshop. So some of you have already signed up for that, and that's in advance of our Mardi Gras celebration next week. And then Friday, February 13th, line dancing will take place at 1 o'clock. We have the book club at 3 p.m., and then for those dining in the Chesterfield for the special Valentine's dinner, the Ladue Strolling Strings will be here at 5 p.m. And let's hope we have no more snow again. So we hope to see them 5 o'clock on Friday. As I mentioned, on the 14th, we'll run that wedding slideshow throughout the day on $24.93. And Peter Kuchnicki also wanted me to mention on the 14th, he'll have a presentation on Chautauqua at 2 o'clock in the theater if you would like to stop by for that. Our Mardi Gras celebration's just around the corner on Tuesday the 17th at 2 o'clock in the theater. We'll have music by the Gaslight Square, so they'll provide a great jazz New Orleans style music. We'll have some refreshments provided by food and beverage and just a good time with friends. So bring your masks, your purple, yellow, green, and all that with you. For transportation, just a quick reminder this week on the 10th, Samba Bomb will be taking place at the Sheldon. So for those who have signed up, they'll be boarding at 9 o'clock. And then we also have February 12th, Powell Hall Tour. So if you signed up for that, boarding at 9 o'clock as well. So I think those were most of my announcements for today. And I think Bert said he didn't have anything to mention. Were there any questions or anything else? Yes, Phil?
Thanks, Sarah. A couple of things. Today, the second Monday, is Writers Group, second and fourth Monday. So that's 1 o'clock over whatever, right next to the market for those interested that haven't been there. Also, second week, Saturday, somehow in between Peter Kuchnicki in the afternoon and in the morning, all the wedding photos, I'm going to do my normal opera and ballet session, presentation. And this month, we're kind of revisiting some of the performers who are still active that I've introduced through the course of the past 4.5 years to you guys. Initially, we're going to be revisiting them because there's a lot more new videos that they put online. And so I've lined up about 10 of those that we're going to revisit, some of the opera stars and also instrumentalists and ballet stars that we've seen before. So come on down. That's 11 o'clock here in the theater on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Sue, did you have an announcement?
If anybody's seen a rollator with aqua handles, I'm missing my rollator. It has a seat on it. It has Arthur Jacobsmeyer's name on it. It's a Hugo rollator, and how why it walked off, I have no idea, but I really would like it returned. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Yeah, Pete.
This question is more for Bert than anybody.
Okay.
I do have some interest in I know it's a long way off, but in the trip to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering if he has any more information he can share with us.
Okay.
Pete, this is what I can tell you. The question is, Steve Mosley, the chaplain at Sunset Hills, and I are working on a trip to D.C. in the fall. We are targeting the last week of October. We are trying to finalize price on that. Part of that is the flight information doesn't open up until the 12th of this month because it's just over 6 months out. So we need to see what the prices will be for a flight. And then we're finalizing the cost of a coach once we're in D.C. So we're not quite ready to release all the details because we're still piecing it together. But here in the next couple of weeks, we should have some final information for you, Pete. Or anyone else that's interested. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and jump into the birthdays. For today, we're celebrating Paul Brigitzer and then also Mo Hopi. February 10th, we have Mary Dwanke. February 11th, Ellen LaCroix. February 12th, Marilyn Fair, Jeannie Holmes, Mary Kuchnicki. February 13th, Pete Farley, Charlie Wilson. February 14th, Ethel May Allen and Paul Duna. And then February 15th, we have Jim Kinder and Nancy Slocum. So happy birthday to all of you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. And now Carla's here to keep us healthy and fit. Here she comes.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Yay, thank you for standing. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to start with some deep breaths. In through your nose, take 3 in, blow out for 6. Fill up your lungs. And again, deep breath in and out. And maybe think about doing that throughout the day once in a while. Also, I want to introduce a movement snack every hour. For 60 seconds, just move something, even if it's just your knees. If you're seating, lift up your knees. For 30 to 60 seconds every hour, just to move something. Or touch your shoulders every hour. Then up will help with your sleeping, just to move around a little bit throughout the day. Back behind. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Good. And now we're going to circle the hips around. Hula hoop style, right? Where's the hula hoop lady? There's one right there, Judy. And the other way. Both J's, Jean and Judy. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up your heels onto your toes. 8 more times. 8, we want strong feet, mobile feet. 5, and you can do this seated too as your movement snack every hour on the hour. 60 seconds of movement. All right, let's look each way. 5 times. Helps with sleep too to move throughout the day. 3, 2, in simple little ways. 1 more time each way. Now down and up. 4, 3, twice more. 1 more time. Let's look up at the ceiling and then look ahead. Up with the arms, reaching up. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now connect here. And like we're ringing a bell. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, 3, 2 more. 1 more right here. Hold it there. And then bring it down in front and take a bow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carla. And now Jerry has a film on the Olympics for us.
Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Opening Ceremony celebrates a world where differences inspire dialogue and beauty. A world moved by harmony. In Italian, armonia. Armonia between city and mountain. Between man and nature. Between people, art and cultures. Armonia is beauty and colors, music and style, tradition and future. It is the Armonia that shapes Italy. In 4 iconic locations, a tribute to the Italian spirit and a message of peace will be shared with the world. The greatest show on earth is coming to Italy. Armonia. Milano Cortina 2026, 6th of February 2026.
The most reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years, guaranteed.
Wow, pretty exciting. Not that we're Olympians, but we decided that we would acknowledge some of our athletic groups here at the village. I'm going to call them out by the different activities. And as I do, will you please, when you're in that group, will you please come up and march across the stage? Okay, first of all, we have the putting league. Come on up. Some of them have multiple activities. On the screen, we have some pictures also of the groups. All right, next we have the pool. Oh, well, we have one slow one coming up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I called the putting league. All right, the putting league is finished. Give them a little hand. And next we have the pool sharks. All right, pool sharks, come on up. There's a picture on the screen. Some of them must have slept in today. All right, give them a nice round. And next we have the ping pong players. You can see a lot of them play on many activities. All right, let's give the ping pong players. All right, one more round of applause. Thank you, ping pong players. And next we have cornhole. Good idea. We have so many cornhole players, we wouldn't have room up here for them all. All right, how about a nice round of applause? And next we have H2O volleyball. As you can see, they need more practice. All right, give them a nice round of applause. And last but not least, we have bocce. Yeah. We get a nice turnout for bocce. If anybody's interested in joining us, you're welcome. All right, a nice round of applause. And thank you very much to all our athletic people. And after all that activity, we're going to have a sing-along. You want to? Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, it's an institute you can't disparage. Ask the local gentry, they will say it's elementary. Try to separate them, it's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage. Brother, you can't have one with a, you can't have one without the other. And now we have Claudia from the Writers Group.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about the historic winter storm Fern that we just had. I love a snow day, probably because I was born and raised in Florida. I was 18 when, as a freshman at Florida State University in Tallahassee, I saw my first snow. Back in the 1950s, we delicate females were locked in our dorms at 10 o'clock every night. Well, this particular snow came around midnight. Knowing that most of us had never experienced the glory of snow, the powers that be unlocked the dorms and let us go. We grabbed our robes and fuzzy slippers and tore out before the authorities could change their minds. The guys, who were never locked in, were there to greet us, and a snowball fight ensued. What fun, with only 1/4 of an inch of snow. I grew up to become a teacher, and the only thing we loved more than our kids was a snow day. Oh, picture. Oh, you got it, okay. I still enjoy being out in the beautiful, quiet, gleaming, white landscape. Have you ever noticed how calm and still it is after snow? It was pure heaven, taking my dogs out and making the first footprints. However, I doubt if the owner of that car there is as enthusiastic. It was great fun feeding the hungry birds. I have a couple of feeders and some suet out for them, and I'm amazed at all the songbirds that don't migrate. This past snow, I counted a blue jay, woodpeckers, cardinals, bluebirds, mourning doves, chickadees, and numerous little brown birds. At one time, I had a cardinal and 2 bluebirds waiting in this tree they've got right here. They were waiting for their turn at the feeder. It's so hard to get a picture of all 3 of them, but I just got the cardinal. Okay. I went out into an open field near the sewer where our resident groundhog resides to take this reading. It looks as if we received almost 9 inches. Deep enough to get inside my snow boots, and that's rather uncomfortable. The snow was so deep, I was unable to open my patio door. Thank heavens the front door was cleared by our groundspeople. By the way, I found no prints or any evidence that our resident groundhog ever woke up on February 2nd. I assume he's smarter than old Phil from Pennsylvania. Okay, one nice thing about a snowfall is that the squirrels don't chase the birds off and eat all the food. At 50 degrees, squirrels are supposed to go snuggle in their nests, relax until they reach a state of torpor. a state of lethargy that's not quite as deep as hibernation. Sometimes the silly things wake up, don't obey the rules, and come down from the trees. I think this might be the tracks of one of them trying to get back home. Oh, do squirrels hop? The footprints look like this little lost creature was suffering from cold feet. You can see there's like 5 feet in between the sets of footprints. The Meteorological Society has begun naming winter storms the same way we name hurricanes. We have now experienced Winter Storm Fern. When all the statistics are in, Fern will probably be listed as one of the historic storms to remember. There's 4 reasons. Number 1 was its size. It was 1,500 miles long and impacted 40 states from east of the Rocky Mountains to the Atlantic Ocean. It stretched from Canada down to Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama, and then it swept up the East Coast. ChatGPT told me that over 1,900 flights were canceled between January 23rd and 27th. I heard that one of our residents got caught up in that mess. All right, the second reason is the catastrophic ice in this storm. More than 220 million people lost power. 1 out of every 3 people were affected. The third reason was the heavy snow. Bonita Lake, New Mexico received the highest total of 30 to 31 inches, while over a dozen states received more than a foot. And the fourth reason was the record cold. In the Deep South, New Orleans, San Antonio, and Austin, Texas broke records dating back to 1897. Springfield, Missouri registered a minus 11 degrees Fahrenheit, and I don't even want to know the wind chills. We were blessed here at Friendship Village with only 9 inches of powdery snow instead of ice, sleet, freezing rain, and all that other obnoxious stuff. These two aren't the same. Our wonderful grounds crew, along with Loyette, worked hard, blowing it off with leaf blowers. When all the statistics are confirmed, we can brag. We survived historic Winter Storm Fern. Don't you think that's special?
Thank you, Claudia. And now Bob Fridley is going to do a reading.
I'd stand up except my friend arthritis and whatever set in today. My story is about Edward Booth, who was purportedly quite an actor in his time. Any of you ever remember that name, Edward Booth? He was world famed. He's sort of in the class of Johnny Depp and Josh Brolin and Robert De Niro and several others. But he was also known for performing a heroic act, one that has gotten him into the history books. It took place during the Civil War at a train station in Jersey City. According to this young man, Edward Booth saved him from a very serious, potentially serious problem that he had. At the train station where he was standing, a group of people knocked him down in the pit where the tracks were. He was having a tough time getting out of the pit, and along came Booth, who grabbed him by the nap of his coat and pulled him out and saved him from a train that was coming very close and would have likely killed him. 2 weeks later, that same Ed Booth, the great movie star, received a letter of commendation from Ulysses S. Grant. That's tongue-tied. It turned out that this young man, Edwin, he had saved was actually Robert Todd Lincoln, the son of President Lincoln. The act of heroism would have gone down as the only unlikely interesting fact about the Booth family and the Lincoln family had it not been for Edwin, the actor's brother, John Wilkes Booth. And now you know the rest of the story. In this recent occurrence of grazing at the table, as we did yesterday, most of us, as we tried to watch a purported football game, I came across this, and have I really got a deal for you all? If you are a collector, as many of you have been through the years, I've got one for you. A Brussels sprout was bought for $151. Now, did you save one? Britney Spears liked to chew gum, and one day a bidder gave her $14,000 for chewed gum. You all are just not into this stuff, are you? A cornflake shaped like the state of Illinois sold for $1,350. I think these folks have been drinking too much booze. The last thing that's on my list of things you've just got to have is a partially eaten 10-year-old cheese sandwich said to carry the image of Mary, Virgin Mary, and it sold for $28,000. There you have it. These are the things you should be collecting.
So keep an eye on your food. Might be worth a lot of money. And now Jim Wisdom is here to give you the answers to Bill's trivia questions.
And Bill insisted I tell you this because we handed this out 2 weeks ago and then it was canceled, so he was worried about the integrity of this test. So he didn't have time to change the questions. And did you change all the answers, Bill? Okay. All right. Number one, in English tradition, the bride and her family provided the couple with her dowry and trousseau. What was the groom expected to provide? The what? No, he didn't change it that much. No, that's not right. Okay, the groom provided a home to occupy and his labor to keep the home operating. So, so something like room and board or something like that. Number two, for the Navy rank of Lieutenant JG, what does the JG stand for? Okay, we didn't fool you on that one. Okay, but you may not know that junior grade, this rank is equivalent to that of first lieutenant in the Army, Air Force, and Marines. Number three, what does a beekeeper use to calm a hive of bees? Water spray, dry ice crystals, alcohol fumes, cool smoke, or gentle music. It should be gentle music, but it isn't. Okay, it is cool smoke. It makes the bees think fire, so they go into the hive to gorge on honey in case they have to move the entire hive. I don't know. I thought dry ice made some cool smoke, but I haven't seen dry ice in a long time. Number 4. Name the first official fort built by Americans west of the Mississippi after the Louisiana Purchase. And a hint, I don't know how much that'll help you, but it was built in what is today St. Louis County, way up north toward Alton, up by the Missouri River. It's Fort Bellefontaine, meaning beautiful spring. That was in 1805. Number 5. I got a feeling everybody's going to get that. What was the name of the character that was played by Judy Garland in the movie The Wizard of Oz? She was Dorothy Gale. And who has seen The Wizard of Oz more than 20 times? Some people. What's the record? No, nobody wants to admit they've seen it 50, huh? Yeah. What was Judy Garland's actual birth name? Number 6. Anybody know her actual name? Frances Ethel Gum, with 2 M's. She was born in 1922. Number 7. If you were to remove the letters CHRIST out of the word Christmas, you would be left with MAS. What does MAS mean in the word Christmas? I can see you're all excited about this answer. MAS comes from the Old English word for Mass, the church service to celebrate the birth of Christ. Number 8, when our chef Brian prepares whitefish on a dinner menu, is this fish from freshwater or saltwater? You sure? He's sure. It's a freshwater fish related to the salmon from cold and deep northern lakes like the Great Lakes. True or false? In order for a school to be a member of the Ivy League, it must meet the highest academic standards. That is false. The Ivy League is an athletic conference of 8 private colleges in the Northeast that was organized in 1954. Well, this says 19. I thought it was before that too, but and number 10, do the planets in our solar system revolve around the sun or do they rotate around the sun? Nobody remembers grade school. Okay, well, they revolve around the sun. The Earth rotates on its axis at about 1,000 miles an hour. Unless you're at the North Pole, then it takes you the entire day just to turn one time. So, Okay, anybody have any questions for Bill about this?
Now Jerry's going to do some videos.
The lady in this video refers to her husband as left brain. So if you hear that, you'll know who she's talking about.
I love the South for many reasons, and I have traveled all over the country now giving my little programs. And what I found is most people like where they grew up. But for me, growing up in the South has been wonderful. And tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that illustrates a reason that I'm glad I grew up in the South. And you could sit here till next week guessing what that would be, and you would never, ever come up with it. You see, people ask me all the time, do you have any children? And of course, we have one son sitting right here, Beaver. If we'd had a little girl, we're going to call her Muskrat. But the boy is the one I'm going to tell you about. And a lot of people think he was named after the television show, Leave It to Beaver. But y'all are of an age that you remember Red Ryder and his sidekick, Little Beaver. Beaver is a graduate of Elon University by the grace of God. Here you go. I'm so proud of you. Well, what happened is my sister Catherine, she's sitting right over here, about 35 years ago, and I were in a convention in Atlanta, in the gift shop. And she said, come over here, Jeannie, come over here right now. Look, look. And there was a little glass beaver. She said, you've got to have that. You can't leave this gift shop without getting that beaver because of beaver. And I said, you're right. I got to have it. And I took it. I actually paid for it, but I took it and I bought it and I went home, and that's no problem. What I had in my home was one little glass beaver. A couple of months later, by myself, I was in a gift shop, and they had these things hanging on, and there were puppets. And there was a beaver puppet. You put your hand in here and had this big teeth, and the tail, flat tail would come up here. We're talking about a rodent, a dirty rodent. And I said to myself, not Catherine, you didn't have to be there. I heard you say, you've got to have that. And I bought that puppet. Now see, here's the problem. There are two types of people in the world. Those who collect things and those who do not. I collect. I hoard. I have 18 different big collections all around. And so as long as I had one beaver, I was okay. But when I got that second one, a collection was born. Fast forward years later, I believe I have the world's largest collection of this rodent in everything that it comes in. Glass, porcelain, rocks, pictures. You can see all the pewter, you name it, I've got it. And then friends would hear, oh, here's some more. And I have big pictures of beaver, and they're all over every stuffed animal you could see. They're all over the house. They're at the dining room table in chairs, just sitting. We got to put them somewhere. And people come in and look around, and they say, how will you know if you have rats? So, not long ago, Left Brain did something that ticked me off a little bit. Not often, honey, would you do that, but you just did a little something. So I thought, all right, I'll get him. And I got one, and I put it in the refrigerator. Sitting right there, and he got up right before he went to bed. He went inside and get something to eat and opened, and it's right there. So he said the next morning, let's talk about these beavers. I haven't said a word about all this stuff you collect, honey, but we got the world's largest collection of these. If something happens to you, my only hope is the Oregon State Beavers will take these things off my hands. There isn't a woman in here that doesn't know what I heard when he said that. Oh, so you think something's going to happen to me first? And I said I won't get any more, just won't get any more. Well, a couple of months, 3 months later, I went to Spokane, Washington to make a speech. And I was staying on one of their big hotels there on the river, and I was on the 15th floor, but I couldn't get in my room. So I said to the lady, would you let me go on in there and change clothes so I could walk on your little river walk place down here for about an hour? Now, they're not supposed to let you do that because the room was not ready, but she said, sure, take the key, go on in there, and I did. And I went in and I changed clothes and left, and I was walking out of the hotel. I'm going to hyperventilate just telling you about it. And I passed the gift shop, and there in the gift shop window was a big brown fluffy beaver. I'd never seen one like it, big flat tail. I just turned right around and went in the gift shop, and I said, I want this beaver. How much is it? That's the order I do a lot of things. I want this beaver. How much is it? And I said, how many of these do you have? And she said, well, actually, this is the only one we've got. And I said, then I want it right now. I'm going to take it back to my room because I know while I'm gone, somebody's going to come in here and buy this beaver. She said, well, we've had it for 5 years, but So I took the beaver, and I went upstairs and just tossed it in the room, and I left. In a little while, I came back, about an hour. Went up to the 15th floor, got off, and I noticed a group of people out in the hall. And I thought, that's interesting. And I got a little further, and I said, I think they're outside of my room. There was a woman from housekeeping. She had a plumber's friend. She had reared back, and she was agitated. I could tell she was agitated. And another woman from housekeeping had the big fat water bottle turned upside down with the fat side there. And standing with them was a man from hotel security. And he reminded me of a man from the greatest television show ever produced, the Andy Griffith Show. This was Barney right here. And that's a compliment. He had taken over and he was in charge of hotel security. Some people walked by. Y'all go ahead, we got this under control. And I finally went up and I said, this is my room, is there a problem? Ms. Robertson, he knew my name. It's come to our attention that you've got some sort of a pet in your room. I knew instantly, I'm a real quick thinker here, and I said to myself, these women have come in there and seen that big stuffed animal that I bought, and I was getting ready to say something, and he said, now, Ms. Robertson, we're gonna let you stay, but we got to kennel the pet. I said, no, sir, I don't have a pet in the room. And I was forming the words. They had started about right here, and they were working their way up to say, I think what these two women have seen is a stuffed animal that I bought in the gift shop. And the words got just about to my lips, and the one with the plumber's friend said, I went in there and it ran across my foot and went around on the other side of the bed. And her friend said, I saw it too. So I just backed up because I thought there could be an animal in there, and the man said, well, it could be a marmot. Now see, thank you. Your silence indicates you don't know any more about a marmot than I did. He was telling me that it could be a marmot. And we got dirt daubers. I know a dirt dauber, bats. We got bats. We've got all, and we have the most loved of southern animals, the possum. They're all out everywhere. I never heard of a marmot. Varmint maybe, but a marmot in my life. A marmot is an ugly rodent thing that stays down in the water. It's nasty, nasty thing. And he's saying it could be a marmot. And now I'm listening to him, and he said, they hang around down in the river, and when they take a notion, they just come right up out of that river and just come across the parking lot, come right through the lobby when nobody's looking. Now, I'm in the great Northwest. I'm thinking Sasquatch, Bigfoot, marmot, what in the world? What he doesn't realize he's just told me is, apparently, as Ernest T. Bass would say, there is a creature that is hanging out over here in the water. And when it takes a notion to, it rises up out of that water and in broad daylight walks across a parking lot in a busy hotel and has the common sense to lurk around the lobby till it sees it can just walk right on through the lobby. What he doesn't also realize, he's just told me this thing can apparently get on an elevator and punch a button to the 15th floor. Now, I don't know anything about this, but I decided I don't want to know anything about it. And then he's saying, we're going in. I'm embarrassed to tell y'all, I put myself in 4th position. I let the 2 women go in front of me, and then there was Barney up there, and I got back as far as I could. I didn't have a weapon, plumber's friend, water bottle. I didn't have any of that. He goes in and he says, you ladies stay here. I'm going to check the bathroom. You might be in the shower. Okay. Now, Sasquatch showering is something I can go through life without seeing. But he comes in and comes back out and he says, no, it's not in there. We're going on in. And the sheets were all over the floor because they had apparently just thrown them down. And he took his billy club and got it up under the sheet and mashed his thumb down on it and jerked the sheet off the floor. And there in the floor was my stuffed beaver. I don't know what made me do what I did, but... my pet's dead. Woman with the plumber's friend said, well, I might have kicked it, but she killed it. The women, when I picked it up, fell on the bed. We laughed. We thought that was the funniest thing we'd ever seen. Barney never laughed. He never cried. He looked, it was all right, it's a stuffed animal. I didn't know for sure. A couple hours later, there was a knock on the door. That isn't particularly funny, but if you want to laugh, you can. And I opened the door, and the 2 women for housekeeping standing there. I said, hey, what's up? And they said, you still got that thing? And I said, yeah, what you gonna do? They said, the head of housekeeping here thinks she's hot stuff. We're gonna cool her down just a little bit. And that is the reason I'm so glad I grew up in the South, because Beaver, if I'd grown up in the great Northwest, your name would be Marmot.
America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Have a great week, everyone.